Have you ever felt alone in a crowd, surrounded by people but still kind of isolated? Growing up, I had friends from school and places like that, but they were just people I only knew because we were born the same year and we lived in the same city. We didn't have much in common beyond that. I was kind to everyone, so I was able to make friends, but I felt like I didn't have anyone to share my dreams, mental health struggles, or hardships with. My friendships were more based on doing some activity together, and they lacked that emotional depth. We were just acquaintances that happened to hang out from time to time. And we all know that once a friendship status or type is established, it can be hard to get out from it or change it. For example, you are students and you talk about study stuff. Or you are neighbors and you talk about the neighborhood and home stuff. Bringing up your grandmother's death or your depression into the conversation can be just really awkward. I wanted more, so I began my journey. Step 1. Be your own friend first. In order to have good people in your life, you need to first be good to yourself, and second, you need to know which type of friends, which type of people do you want to have in your life. And if the answer is, well, just anybody, I think that could be the reason why there isn't too many people at this point, because you're just trying to find people from desperation and people can sense that. So think, which type of people do you want to have in your life? What are your values? What type of values you would like them to have? What do you want to do with them? What do you want to give them? Not only what you can get from them, but also what is something that they can receive from you? What do you want to give to this world? And when I was younger, I didn't have any of that self-awareness. I didn't know my values. So of course it was easy to feel kind of lonely when you know that you're not getting something that you want, but you don't even know what it is that you want. It's just so confusing. We attract people who mirror our inner selves. So if you feel confident and peaceful with yourself, then most likely you will find that type of people in your life. But if you skip this step and immediately just try to find people, most likely those relationships will not last so long because they don't have a strong foundation under them. Step 2. Understand the actual importance of having friends. There was this Harvard study that is like 85 years have been going on. I don't know if it has stopped by now, but they found out that the secret, or I don't know if it's secret by now because it's published, but the key thing to having or creating a happy life is your social circle, your close relationships, and they call this the social fitness. And when I first read about this study, I was like, this is exactly what I need to do. Drop everything. Let's just find the right people. Step 3, find friends. This is ultimately a lot about exposure and availability. You have to get exposed to different things and kind of take that step, even though you feel that fear of putting yourself out there. It's a lot about saying yes to opportunities.
Yes! Yes!
No.
You say no to life, and therefore you're not living.
Joining meetups, events, courses, communities that interest you, and not just all the time say no, maybe that's not my thing, because you never know. You have to stay open-minded to any opportunity. For example, I never in my life pretty much played poker, but I just thought, what the heck, I found this like a community place where they play every Friday, and even though it wasn't exactly my thing, I went there for like more than 6 months every Friday to play with them. And I created nice connections in there because I said yes to that opportunity, and now I'm friends with a lot of them. I don't go there anymore because it wasn't exactly my thing, but still those connections, they stayed from there. So if you will always wait that somebody will find you and somebody will become friends with you, I think you might have to wait forever. Another thing that I mentioned in the Q&A video as an answer to this was online. I have met a lot of great people online in different groups, and I have even created groups, and there are different online meetings as well where you can meet a lot of people, and even video games. Guys, one of my oldest friends comes from 2012. Wow, that's a long time ago, more than 10 years ago. We played Call of Duty together on Xbox, and we just connected there, and now we live in the same city and we meet twice a week, every week. So think about that. That's insane. Step 4. Realize the importance of like-minded friends. So when I was having this tough time of not finding really like-minded friends, I read a lot of self-help books. And from there I learned that you are basically the average of 5 people you spend the most time with. And that made me really think, like, if you're friends with the people that you met in middle school and they are having pretty toxic lifestyles, it's a high chance that you will end up just like them if you spend a lot of time with them. I think it's important to keep some old friendships and whatnot, but you have to understand, if those are the 5 closest friends you have, in the long run it will be very toxic. Another thing about these like-minded friends is that you could have a lot of people around you, a lot of friends, but still feel lonely. Because if you cannot share with them the things that you actually want to share, you are left alone inside of your own head wondering, what can I do? I'm just alone in this world. And this happened to me when I was living abroad. I had a lot of people there around me, even though I wasn't in my hometown, and I still felt like there wasn't anybody I could really talk to. I felt like nobody really understood me, and I was missing something. And to kind of help you with the same situation, we are at some point here at Sunny Kind Journey planning to create like a community where this process would be much easier and you wouldn't have to meet hundreds of people to find 1 or 2 that you can actually connect with, since a lot of people who watch this channel already share the same values. But that's something in the future. No big promises now that it will happen next month or something. Step 5, make the relationships meaningful. At this point, I had already found people who share the same values. They want to be in the same place in life as me, and we're having a nice time together. But it isn't enough to just meet and talk about our daily life. I believe, at least for my life, I want to have meaningful, deep relationships and not just have the casual, shallow level relationship. So if you're an introvert, maybe in the previous steps that was like a disadvantage, but for this step that is actually a huge advantage, because we like to skip the small talk and go straight to the things that actually matter and talk about deep things in life. So to create deep relationships, you have to ask deep and honest questions and have those type of conversations, and not just do all the time some activities. And this goes especially for guys. That's what we like to do. Let's go play football, go to the gym or something like this, and then we skip the part where you actually build that strong, meaningful connection where you can basically share anything with this person. Some examples of deep questions that you can ask is, what is the hardest thing that you have experienced in life? Where do you see yourself in 10 years? And what are you the most proud of? What has been the happiest moment of your life? Or what does your perfect day look like, for example? And something for the introvert still, small talk will always happen whether you wanted it or not. So you have to just prepare for it. For example, I learned how to introduce myself. In my head, I'm going through the conversations before even being close to any conversation. What do I want to say about myself? And it needs to be a way that fits you. So if you want to introduce yourself through your job, of course you can do that. But I personally don't want to do that. I don't care about always what people do. I care about who they are. And for the conversation that you will have after the introduction, I also thought in my head some questions, because I want to know if after this conversation I want to have another conversation or I would like to meet them. So I could ask, for example, question, if you could live in any country in the world, where would you live? If I'm interested in traveling, as I am. Or about personal development, what are your biggest goals in life? And don't worry if they will feel that these are stupid questions, because that just means that it's not a good match. It's not about you, it's about them, and it's fine. The best thing is when you ask a question like this that you would like basically somebody to ask you, and you can see the spark in their eyes, you know that there's something magical that can happen from this exact relationship. And before I explained the established relationships, so being neighbors or study buddies or something like that, I was able to change these established friendships to actually deep ones by going through these things, having these conversations. And some of those people are now the best friends that I have, and we were just courageous enough to go to the next level. And step 6 is to make them last. What's the point of building a very beautiful, meaningful relationship if it's not gonna last? That's why I highly suggest to be consistent with these people that you find in your life. Meet them regularly. You can have hobbies together, projects together. You can start something fun that you both don't know anything about. Or if you feel like you don't have something that you would like to do together, then just meet up consistently. For example, every Wednesday after work, you go for a coffee in this coffee place and talk about life. But too many times we forget to contact them, and we kind of expect others to contact us as well. And then it can be just months that you don't even talk to each other, even though you know that that's an amazing relationship you have built. So my journey still continues, and for you, remember to stay kind and meaningful in your own beautiful journey. Thank you so much for watching this video. See you in the next one. Ciao.